Hi BFF, it has been a while and I'm sick, so now I have the time. I'm working on several projects all at once. So many things that I want to do, but I don't know. I need an assembly line. I need to figure out when to do things and when to put things down. I don't know. Right now I'm making a top. I'm so excited about these. I've kind of mashed 3 designs together. So 2 of them are tutorial and 1 of them was a Pinterest that I saw, a Pinterest posting. And then I added a ring to it, this little metal ring, and it'll be a top. Oop, that's the inside. Like this. I still need to make a strap for it, and I don't know what kind of strap I want to make just yet. I partly wanted one really long strap, so that way whoever purchases it can thread it however they like. So you could use the middle part and thread it through there, and then thread it into here, making a crisscross design, kind of going crisscross that way, and then threading it through the side hole, and then tying it in the back or something. Like, there's several ways I think somebody could do it, so I was thinking about doing that. But if you're not inventive or creative, it might stress you out because you wouldn't know how to do it. So then I was thinking I just need to make 4 straps, 1 on either side to tie around the neck, and then 2 on either side to tie around the back for simplicity's sake. I don't know. I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do just yet, but also I don't like how this middle part turned out. I don't know if you can see it, BFF, sorry. So I need to figure out something to do that differently as well, because I think it muddled. It looks different. I wanted it to be sharper and it just didn't. So that's what I'm doing with this. This one's a little bit larger, quite a bit bigger, so I'm making 3 of these as well. I have to make different sizes. So I have 2 of those going on. I need a 3rd one. I have a ring somewhere, a metal ring. I also have some plaques that I'm working on. So these are for just, I guess, cutesiness. Mischief Managed is from Harry Potter, if you're not familiar. So it's going to do the footprints scattered around, sneaking through, maybe a wand, I'm not really sure, keeping up with the map. Maybe I can look up names or something. I'm going to a craft show, and I'm going to try to bring a smaller portable wood burner. Mine's rather large, so I'm not going to be bringing it, but I'm going to bring a smaller one to do custom orders. So if somebody wanted their name and on little tiny footprints, I could do that for them. So I was thinking about that. What else? Oh, I have this yarn. It's like a sock, 93% acrylic. It's very stretchy. I really like it. And I was making kind of like a wristlet. It goes around your wrist and buttons up, and it has a spider web. I don't know where mine is now. I need to find that because that's like the original pattern. Yikes. Huh? That one's on the back burner then. We won't be doing that. You probably shouldn't craft while you're sick. Probably not. I don't know what I have. I feel like I have the flu. This is day 3 and I'm feeling pretty good. But my husband let me sleep in. He woke up at 6 a.m. with our little one, and she has a fever. Good fun times. And so I slept until 10. So I'm feeling really good. What else? So I have these as well that I was working on. I need to sand this one down a little bit. It's a little rough. These are, well, that one's not finished. I want to do, I don't know if you can see it, I want to do smoke coming out of the book, but I can't decide if I want to have stars in the smoke, in which case I need to map out the stars and not wood burn them. So that was paused just because I'm overthinking it, and I need to drill the slit in it as well. But this is for affirmation cards or tarot cards, whatever you would like to use them for, and it just kind of sits in there. This one's the Tree of Life, and very finally there's a small heart in the branches, if you can see it. For that, I guess we could sand it down while we're here. Just needs I already have a kind of wood treatment on it. I'll have to redo the treatment. It's pretty good. I just want it to be smooth. Yeah. I also had some crocheted chokers that I was working on, but that got paused as well. And then I got invited to a kind of spooky event, so I was working on my skulls and mushrooms. And then, oh, I have these as well. Need to thread in. They all look terrible. Sorry. Just really did not prepare at all. So I purchased this pattern on Etsy. I can try to find it and put it in the description box below. It's a really easy pattern, and I just kind of added to it. So this is it's a belt. And her pattern is everything that is in brown, and she has a braided cord on hers that wraps around the middle a few times, and it kind of looks like this elven-y old, like, Viking looking corset. I added on this green to it, and it has these little holes all along, and so I'm going to try to crochet a cord or maybe leather strapping and create a kind of, if you can see that, create a kind of corset looking front. So that's the idea. So I still need to make the belt for that, and whatever strapping I decide, or ribbing, I don't know what you would call that. Just detail, like it wouldn't be functional, but it would just look cute. I think that's all I have in front of me. Oh, there's the, yeah. So this is the wristlet that I was doing. This is a pattern as well that I followed on YouTube, and I can link that below as well. So I thought these are really pretty and kind of spooky looking. I'm trying to find a kind of frill, but more, what am I thinking? Frilly, lacy, kind of gothic that I want to add to this part coming down. Not terribly long, but just kind of like a little extra detail for those goths out there. that might want to get these. So I have one set here, and then that was going to be a second set. And then I have some little bags. It's going to be longer. I have quite a few already made up, probably 20, and all different colors. This is my favorite colorway. It's a gorgeous yarn. I don't have the packaging label, but it doesn't really quite matter because the colors are discontinued. It's Little Bird, I think, Little Bird Universal or something. Little Bird for sure, and they're no longer making yarn, so I was pretty heartbroken. I was so excited when I found it, and I like the colors. It just reminds me so much of like a natural dragon or natural colors that you would see in the wild, and so I loved it. And they had a purple and black one as well, but I didn't know I was going to be invited to this event, and so I did not buy that yarn, and now all they had was the green. But I love the green. It reminds me of dragon scales for sure. And then my husband bought several other colors, like blues and purples and things like that, and because he was like, well, there's different colored dragons. I'm like, okay. So I have 20 of them made up. This one's only halfway done. And then after I crocheted to the top, I had a ribbon through it. I don't crochet a cord through it because it drives me insane. It's not as movable. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it doesn't cinch as smoothly as I like. So I added a completely different cord to it instead. I have this ball here. I absolutely love these colors. I found this in my yarn stash in the basement. If you saw my reels on this took me about 3 hours to do. It was originally in one of those braided cord skeins, and I've never unwound one of those before, so I was just like, oh, this will be a cinch. I called my mom to get a little bit of instruction, and she gave me some, and I was like, yeah, I got it, I get it. I did not get it whatsoever. It was an absolute mess. My dog came in at one point, was trying to help, standing on it, and it was getting tangled in his paws. My daughter tried helping me, and she was just walking across it back and forth and directing me, and I was like, it's fine, I'll get it, trust me, like 4-year-old, I got this. And then the cat came and laid on it. It was just a miserable mess. And all the while, it's a gorgeous yarn. I love the orange and the browns, and the teal color. It's like this sky blue color in the middle of it is just, it pops. But I have no idea what to do with it. And I believe it's a size 2 or 3, so I could use it for these. Maybe that's dragon scales? I don't know, I haven't tried that yet. And then I guess it could be a top. I don't know. I can't decide either way. Also, I have some little wood pieces coming. I ordered. I don't know when they're going to get here, but whenever they do, I'm gonna start making my own rune stones. I started looking into it, you know, I do tarot, so I started looking into it, and there's significantly less runes than tarot. There's 78 cards in tarot, and there's 24, and then a blank stone for runes, so 25 essentially. And I probably know 11 of them right now, and I really like the simplicity of it. It's really interesting, and the whole history on how the runes became what they are. I don't know, it's fascinating. If you look it up, there's tons of YouTube, I guess, explanations of how the runes came to be, and it's all based on, you know, what they believed back then. And it's a really old language. It's fascinating. It's really neat. So I don't know what to do with this. Yeah, lots of stuff. Oh, ooh, I want to do this too. Sorry, stuff everywhere. Tarot box, or whatever you want to, trinket box, whatever. Slides off. It's probably the size. It could hold maybe 2 tarot decks, not too many, but crystals, whatever you would want in here. The lid is very easy to slide. This is my tree goddess that I have, and my idea is to do leaves up and down snaking along here. But again, I'm an overthinker, and so I want some leaves to be large, like they're closer to the person looking at it, and then they get smaller and smaller and then grow again. So small here, and then like mid-size, and then large again, and then large, and then, you know what I mean? As you get it. Good. Fantastic. I'm over-explaining. So that's that plan, but I need to sketch it with pencil first. Terrified of wood burning freehand, so I don't do that much. I typically sketch things out first and then wood burn. Yeah, so that is what I've been up to. I have several projects in the basement. Do you want to go to the basement? We can if you want. We'll go to the basement. One moment. This is the art room. My husband redid it so I could teach classes down here. I have some of the class still going. So I had a couple of young ladies who came in and painted some coffee mugs and some little Christmas gnomes for Christmas. I made Christmas cards. So that is, oh, there's my projects. So I have some of these. They're hanging up. I put a wood treatment on them, so they're still kind of drying. There's the Mischief Managed, which is upstairs as well, so I'll have the feet prints. And then some little camping ones. These are just art pieces that the students can look at. And then here is another piece that I was working on. This is another box. This is the side of the box. I've got to put several layers of the treatment on it. And that's what I'm putting on it, the tried and true. It's kind of like a honey based, but it gets quite a bit darker. I don't know if you can see. There we go. So it'll get darker the more layers that are put on it. So then there's that simplistic one. We could put a slit in that. You have a dragon. Gotta put a slit in that one. This one already has one. And then this one, my husband, that's wool. You have to polish it once it's been treated. This, my husband came up with, I spelled it wrong, but I was uncomfortable with doing tarot readings just because even though I've been reading them for myself for 12 years, I was nervous to do it for other people. So my husband was like, well, make a sign that it's not so terrible readings. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Then we have a couple over here. I started adding watercolor to some of my pieces, and I'm actually loving how they turned out. So that's another Harry Potter one. This is a pentagram piece, so you can hang it up when it's not in use. But yeah, the watercolor has been so much fun on wood. It never occurred to me until I was watching a YouTube tutorial on wood burning. And they were like, now that we're done wood burning this butterfly, let's watercolor it. And I was like, what? That's possible? But yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. Let's go back upstairs. So coming back up from the basement, I just realized I have another project that I was working on. This is a shawl. It's rather large, and it is from a film, or not a film, a show. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm so sick. Had to get tissues on the way back too. So if you are an Outlander fan, it might be recognizable, but there's a show called Outlander based off of a book series, and one of the characters wears shawls quite frequently, actually, to keep warm because they're in Scotland. And this is one of them, or an inspiration. So hers is knitted and mine is crocheted. But I'm gonna crochet some straps to this along with everything else with straps, and you tie it around yourself, and it should kind of look like this. So it keeps you warm, but also if you're bending over or anything, it shouldn't get in your way. You should be able to work and whatnot, which is what she does. She gardens, she makes things, she's constantly doing things with her hands, and so that's why this is very useful to her. And then she has a couple other ones that are a little bit smaller, and they just cover her neck, and I'm trying to work on something with those as well, and I'm trying to keep with her colors. So these are the colors that she wears in the show, and I'm going to make a little card for it, kind of like an old-timey. I'm gonna paint it and have it styled like if you were in a really old museum. It has that little note card in it, and it will say like worn by Claire Beecham in the 1700s, Scotland. So if anyone knows the show, they'll know who Claire Beecham is, and it'll be a laugh. And if they don't, then it's just, maybe it's a talking point, because they're like, who is Claire Beecham? I'm like, oh wow, she was known to be a spy for the Scottish. Like, just make something up. But because she wasn't a spy, she was a time traveler, actually. But anyway, so that's this inspiration, and it is crocheted in the moss stitch, but I couldn't tell you how exactly because I don't know. It was just kind of a thing that I wanted to do, but I didn't take any notes. So it's the moss stitch decreased, and that's how I did it. So if I want to make another one, it'll be a surprise, and it'll be different every time. It's actually quite warm. It feels nice because I don't feel so great. But yeah, so that's coming along. It took a lot more yarn balls than anticipated. I was hoping it would just be 3 roughly. So I got 2 of the lighter brown and 1 of the darker brown. I have a little bit of the darker brown left over. Yeah, I'm still working on it. So there's the moss stitch. Well, I can't even remember how to start it. I think the foundation chain is kind of the same, actually. No, so the foundation chain is typically just a chain, but it's, I don't know if I can explain it, BFFs, I don't know. My brain is not there. I don't know. But the moss stitch itself is fairly simplistic, and I just knew that I wanted to use something that looked tight knit. If you go on Etsy or if you've been on YouTube, there are quite a few people who have had Outlander inspirational shawls. If you're a crocheter, you will notice that a lot of them are the double crochet stitch, and it's noticeable to someone who knows knitting and crochet, the difference between them, that the double crochet is a little bit more flowy, more flexible maybe. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but you can tell the difference, that one is knitted and one is crocheted specifically. And so that's why I chose the moss stitch, because to me, from far away, it looks very tight and it looks together. If you are an avid crocheter though, you would see right away, looking at it, you're like, that's not knitted. And if you're an avid knitter, you know what I mean, like you would look right away and just be like, no, that's not knitted, that would be crochet. But from a distance, it does look close, compacted, the fabric, and so from far away it looks more like the Outlander shawl than a double crocheted Outlander shawl, if that makes any sense at all. I'm sorry if it doesn't. That was my brain when I was looking for patterns to purchase to make an Outlander shawl. I just noticed that a lot of them were double crocheted or had a very noticeable crocheted stitch, and so I just kind of scoured the internet and looked for a more compacted stitch, which is, there's probably other ones, but this is the moss stitch. And I really like it. It's very simple. It uses quite a bit of yarn, which is another reason why other inspirational shawls use the double crochet stitch. It probably uses far less yarn. It's probably a much faster, easier, cheaper project to do than this one. This one's taking quite some time. Obviously I have other things, you know, going on as well, but it is time consuming. I've brought it in the car with me several times while I'm watching a movie. I've pulled it out, and throughout an entire movie I've only, you know, gone like an inch because I've only done like 3 rows or something. So that's the price you pay for something that is very tight knitted and compact, because it uses quite a bit of yarn and you don't get as far. But I do enjoy it. It is very simple. I had to look up how to decrease the moss stitch. I've never done it before, so that was another thing that I was kind of researching. And then while I was looking up the shawl, there's no shawl outline necessarily on Claire's, and I don't remember, without rewatching the show, I don't remember how it was tied. I don't know if it was tied with the strap or with the actual shawl, which is why I decreased it by 3 here. And then at some point I was like, well, this is gonna look really ridiculous, because some of them are quite angled in the back, like a 90-degree angle for a shawl. And I don't know. At some point I switched to a 2 decrease, if you know what that means. It's fine if you don't. Either way, at some point I changed it and was like, yeah, let's switch things up. But yeah, I enjoy doing it. I just don't know I don't know if anyone's gonna really want it. So I'm only making one. Again, it's taking quite some time. If you go online and are looking for the Outlander shawls to purchase, they start at 80, and depending on the type of yarn, they can go to 150 or more. Yarn is getting very pricey. If you want a nice quality yarn, there's some out there that are $12, you know. So like this one, it looks small, but some of these can be $7. Just this one. Now, I didn't pay that for all of mine. I got very lucky, and some of mine are on sale. So like these were on sale. Let me see. This one was $1.99. But I don't think they make it anymore, which is why it was $1.99. So yeah, yarn can be rather expensive, and that's why, especially with time added to that. Again, this has taken quite a while. Adding on all of the other projects that I'm doing, it's taken probably the same time as I would have done like a baby blanket or a lap blanket. Like, it has taken a while. So I can see why some of them on Etsy, when you buy them made, how it can be expensive. But you have to understand that it's a craft, that someone's making it, especially if that person designed the pattern on top of it. It's something that they created. Again, I kind of created this one, but I didn't keep track of it whatsoever, so it's kind of like a hit and miss. If it works out, it works out, but I didn't really write anything down. I couldn't even tell you how many chains I did when I first started crocheting it, so I don't know the length whatsoever. My daughter laid it out at one point, and she was like, "Why are you making it so big?" And she laid it across the table. I don't even know how big my table is, but it was hanging over the side of the table, and she like commented on it. She's like, "Who could wear this?" And I'm like, "Well, it needs to wrap around the body," and that's how I measured it. I measured it to wrap around my body, and then whoever else buys it, if they're a little bit larger than I am, because I'm like an SM, I'm a small medium, whoever buys it then has the strap that I'll crochet on the end of it, and they'll be able to tie it around themselves. But obviously, if you don't understand, you know, crochet, and you don't, or knitting and things like that, you could be a little confused on why things like this are so expensive. I don't know. I appreciate it, being able to create things like this. My mom taught me to crochet, and it was a rather frustrating experience at the beginning. Once I got the hang of it, then it was really fascinating to see all of the things that crochet can do. Have you seen any of the animals? They're adorable. People creating animals and things. The clothing is phenomenal. I am not a knitter. I've tried. I got really angry. I tried. A friend of mine, she only knew that I did things with yarn and like a needle of some kind. So she gifted me, excuse me, sorry BFF, she gifted me two knitting needles, and she was so excited because they were wooden, so they were like natural, and they're gorgeous, so beautiful, but I didn't know what to do with them at all, so I was just like, thank you. Took them home, watched a YouTube video, struggled for half an hour, and packed them away. Sure, babe. Give me one moment. Alright, well, I think I'm gonna sign off, BFF. My little one is up from her nap, and she has a fever as well. So I just gave her some Tylenol. Let's see if that helps her at all. And then she just asked for some toast. Buttered toast is really the best sometimes when you're sick. That and chicken noodle soup. Don't know why, it's just the best. So I'm gonna stop because I'll keep going. I'm gonna get off of here and I'll see you later, maybe on an update. Let me know if you guys want to ever do any of this live. It would be fun. It would be less editing on my part. We could sew this up together and we can chat about it and kind of get an idea. We could wood burn together after I get done sketching. You don't want to watch me sketch, it'll take forever. But we could get done sketching and we could wood burn, and that way I could talk and I'm just tracing over what I've already drawn. That might be fun together. Just let me know what you want to do on our next BFF live hangout. I'll see you soon, BFF.